The non-involvement of youth in decision-making process has made them susceptible to criminality and other activities that lead to political instability. Keen watchers are therefore advocating for more engagement of youth in governance for meaningful development. Jenny Bassi reports.
Youths are the evolvers of economic, social, political, and drivers of change. In Nigeria, the present economic reality have left many unemployed, thereby pushing them to engage in social vices. Of recent is the scary reports of youths who, in a bid to get rich quick, have resorted to killing strangers, neighbors, friends, even family members for money ritual purposes. Not forgetting the NSAS protests, wanton killings by unknown gunmen, and Boko Haram. It is not also uncommon to see youths engaged in vote buying, snatching of ballot boxes, political thuggery, and brigandry. How then should these youths be engaged meaningfully?
Policy formulation that I get towards providing an enabling environment for the youths to deploy their skills.
I want everyone to look in and see that there is something to do in Nigeria. There's always something to do. If you don't find anything to do, please, agriculture is still there. And I will tell you that agriculture is one of the top things that can help to move Nigeria forward.
If we stand firm, knowing that we can change the narrative from being just followers and being the leaders that will propel Nigeria to the better place we desire to be, then we have to participate in it.
It is no longer news that federal government has introduced policies and programs geared towards youth development. The National Social Investment Program include N-Power, Trader Money, Farmer Money, Conditional Cash Transfer, Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, among others. However, Nigerians say more still need to be done.
The moment these policies touch the ordinary people, government will feel it. Government will feel it because there will be reduction in crime rates. There will be reduction in immorality. There are a whole lot of things. People will talk about it. You will see it on the faces of the people. But government are more concerned on infrastructure development than human capital and youth development policies.
They expect a higher political will to put an end to the surge in societal ills, restore social values and norms that promote national building. In Port Harcourt, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
With me in the studio to discuss issues that concern the youths is Mr. Hayaking, a legal practitioner. Mr. Hayaking, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me in your studio this afternoon.
Okay. Let's discuss on the need to redirect the youths to channel their virility or energy in the right direction. I'm sure you agree is apt and germane.
Yeah, very, very important because of what we have experienced in the past few years and is increasing. It's not abating. We need to talk about the youth. We need to do things that will redirect their focus. We need to engage them. We need to pay more attention to the youths. Because I don't think we are doing that right now, so we need to pay more attention to the youths to be able to get them back on track.
Okay. And this is certainly born out of the prevalence of untoward happenings among youths. This list of social vices blamed at the doorstep of youth is endless. The recent is a highly disturbing issue of inordinate quest for riches or wealth, even among teenagers. This crave, what don't you think it should be a collective responsibility?
Definitely, it is worrisome that because I was talking behind the scene before I came on camera. I was asking if my son wants to drive a Jeep, what am I going to drive? If my son wants to use an iPhone 500,000, what am I going to use? And they cannot afford it because they don't have a legitimate earning. They don't have a legitimate job that they are doing. So how do they fund these vices, this appetite, this thing? Because it's only if you can be able to afford something that you'll be able to buy it. So once they are not able to afford it, the next thing they do is to turn to crime, which is what is happening presently. And it is very, very condemnable. I want to say that A lot of people, all of us are involved, including me. We are all involved. The doctors, the lawyers, the politicians, the government, parents, teachers, everybody. We are all involved in what is happening to our youth in Nigeria presently. But I'm told that it's global. It's not just Nigeria. Because what is happening now, the internet has exposed a lot of things and all that. So it's a very, very bad situation. I think somebody wrote a book once and said that there was a country. I don't know whether there is now a country. I doubt whether we still have a country because of what these youths are doing. Government too, they are not paying attention. They are less concerned. They are not interested. I mean, a situation where policies of government are not made to be able to, help the youth, to encourage the youth. There are a lot of things we can do, and we catch them. There is this saying that we have to catch them young. There are things we can do to be able to turn their eyes to better things, not the evil things that they have presently turned to.
So apart from all this that you have mentioned, what other ways do you think we can get out of this, problem or this trend we now have?
Well, getting out of it is very simple. Let's go back to the basics. When I grew up, I was in primary school in the 70s and in the 80s. I was in secondary school. You don't come home with something that does not belong to you. My father will send you. In fact, if you come home with a ball, football, ordinary football, your friend's football, you bring it, we'll go and hide it outside. We won't bring it into the house. Because my father will say, who owns this ball? Come on, take that ball away. You can't bring it. Ordinary football, old football. Now my friend, maybe we finish playing. My friend said, okay, take it home. I said, please, now give me now so that I'll go and play at home. I will take it home. When I get home, I will hide it. I will not even bring it inside the house. My father will not allow you to come into the house without a football. So it's a very, very bad thing that today a girl of 16 years will come home with a phone of 100 and something, and the mother will say, who gave you this phone? Yeah, the girl will smile, oh, give me now. In fact, some of them will even dash the phone to their mother or their father, and their father will be gladly receive it and begin to use it. So that is one of the problems. Then the other one is teachers. We no longer we are taking away the powers of teachers to discipline children. Parents will dress up, paint her mouth, wear clothes, wear gloves, and go to the school to punch a teacher for disciplining his child. That's wrong. Let me tell you this. When I was in primary school, they used to call me Big Nika. Do you know what they call me Big Nika? They call me Big Nika because I wear 5 knickers, and all of them have holes. Hole, because we sit on the floor. Oh yes, I will sit on the floor. There was no chair. I didn't wear sandals to school, so I will wear the one that has already been torn. I will wear and wear. Not just because I want to wear it, but because I know I will be mischievous in school and I will be flogged. And when I get to school, 4 people will hold 2 hands, 2 legs, and they will lash me. Anybody that went to Benetka in the 70s, 75, 77, 70, 80, will know a man called Mr. Abraham and Mr. Amakri, 2 of them, and Mrs. Effiong, 3 people. You don't dare these 3 people. They will flog you very well. And when you go home, your parents will see the mark and say, hey, you have mischievous. They should flog you very well. They will go back to the school and thank the teachers. But today, parents will wake up and go to school to fight a teacher. The teacher will not say, hey, Wolo, come in bed. Nothing concerns me. Let them, anyhow the student behave. Let them behave. So this thing is contributing to why our children are bad. That is the truth about it. Some private school will tell you, oh, don't touch any child, don't touch any child. It's only me that will discipline them. If you tell the teacher, anybody child that does anything, please come and report to me. What kind of thing is that? The teacher is no longer responsible to the children. Now, the other one again, the children now, the teachers are afraid of the children. I have a neighbor who didn't go to school. I said, neighbor, why you not go to school? He said that one of the teachers, one of the students threatened her. Girls' school. And the teacher asked for transfer to be transferred. So we are in a very bad situation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haya King, for coming on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, Panorama continues. Stay tuned.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Still watching Panorama. You can follow the news on our website NTA.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA Network Online. You can also visit our Facebook NTA Network News and Twitter at NTA News Now and Instagram NTA Network for updates. A cross-section of Port Harcourt residents have called for the ban on trucks and trailers from plying within the metropolis during the day. This is to prevent accidents and traffic congestion. Nkiru Onyejesi, who went to town to feel the pulse of residents, completes the report.
Every country depends on tankers and trailers to move bulky and heavy items and equipment from one place to another. While the importance of this vehicle is undeniable, they are, however, risk-prone to other road users and the major factor that causes gridlock in cities.
They should ply at night because at night there will be lesser cars on the road. If they ply during the day, they cause a lot of havoc. Like you see a trailer, you know the length of trailers. And all these small cars, they are always scared of the trailers.
It's better they move at night because in daytime they can cause accidents.
Statistics shows that about 2/3 of tanker rollovers occur during the day, hence the need to enshrine a law preventing them from plying the roads during the day.
The accidents these vehicles cause on regular basis on our roads cannot be overemphasized. The right they have to use the road is the right any other person has also to use same road.
Government don't talk much on that issue of them to work on at night, but still, they are still working on the daytime.
Like today, what happened here, it may be the cause of the trailer. Accident happened today here, which is very bad. My opinion is that they should apply at night. It's better.
It will be recalled that the state government a few weeks ago directed all local government chairmen to put an end to illegal parking of trucks within the metropolis. That directive appears not to be fully complied. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru.
Cross State Governor Professor Ben Ayade has promised to complete the first phase of the 275 kilometers 6-lane superhighway project in the next 6 months. Governor Ayade stated this when he led state executive members on an inspection to the project. Paul Ibe reports.
The superhighway project serves as evacuation corridor for the Bakassi deep sea port and links northern Nigeria through the Benue axis. But this section of the road is expected to reduce traffic at Ujupani Junction with a bypass into Calabar Itu and Calabar Ekam roads.
Earthworks have been completed up to 13 kilometers on the northern side, and from here the first phase we have passed through clearing, we have done the sub-base, and now we are doing the asphalt. We are at the point of doing the asphalt. The sub-base has been completed, the stone base has been laid, we are doing the binding course, then we will do the wearing course. And it's structurally designed to last for 50 years. So the superhighway is a reality.
Commending President Buhari on the construction of Ekam Bridge and performing the ground-breaking ceremony of the superhighway project in 2015, Governor Ayade appeals to the federal government for support to complete the project.
I would like and insist that President Muhammadu Buhari should at this point step in and support the state to complete this project. With what is happening in the long term, they are going to eventually remove subsidy, and private corporations will now bring in petroleum products, and Calabar will remain the biggest source, the cheapest and easiest way through which the northern part of Nigeria will have access to their petroleum products.
The governor also revealed that a new city will be constructed along that axis to enhance the Greater Calabar City project. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
With the harmattan experienced in Akwa Ibom State after a few days of early rainfall, environmental experts say farmers should not rush into planting as the change in the weather pattern is caused by the influence of tropical continental air mass. Environmental correspondent Charity James has details.
Nigeria is a country with rainy and dry seasons. In southern Nigeria, including Akwa Ibom State, the rainy season most times lasts from November to March, while the rest of the months fall under the dry season with the harmattan experience. In this year's dry season, coupled with the harmattan, the rains were expected in the month of March as usual, when the effect of harmattan is reduced. The difference was the case in Akwa Ibom State, as the area experienced some changes in weather pattern within the first few weeks of the year, a situation with a tendency of creating the impression that the rainy season has commenced.
The rain season has not started because for some years now, our weather have changed, our local weather have changed.
The rain wasn't a surprise because I know it was a fake rain and it's not the rainy season. The rain has not started.
We have two different seasons and definitely not rainfall in January. So it was a flash rain. I knew that it was not going to stay.
It is no more news that Akwa Ibom State had experienced rains early this year, and now the harmattan has returned in full force with the harsh weather conditions. What does this portend?
Because of the weakness of maritime air mass from ocean, so we will not have rain. The one that you see was just a small shadow of the main thing to come. When the maritime air mass is able to push out continental air mass, everywhere will be rain.
With the effect of the tropical continental air mass, environmental experts says the harmattan season is not the right time to go into farming.
Have in mind that this thing will not be forever, it will change. It will change. There must be adaptation. The way we dress, the way the cream we have and all those things. Ventilation, right this time around, all of us are supposed to go with first pass. The farmer should not rush to plant because it will be wasted effort. Because if they plant now, their seedlings will die.
In Uyo, Charity James, NTA News.
And that's the end of Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. Remember to join in the fight against rape and rapists. Enjoy the rest of our programming. Thank you.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road Matters, shown on the network service of the NTA. Join us.
Welcome to Strictly Speaking once again, and thanks for joining our ongoing conversation on various aspects of the English language.
Social media has influenced the use of English language in terms of writing and speaking that art. But you must understand that communication itself is an art.
Yes, there's the art, which is the skill or the talent, or from the talent to the skill. How do you separate yourself from the gang?
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that I know that I can die for as one, then I'm really sad because you're young. You have education. You have tools. You have a huge future ahead of you. And you're condemning yourself before you started on that journey. So please don't do that. Please don't.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Sheer adventurism is driving me to go deep into the Onyama mines. It is the biggest coal mine in the whole of South. Well, the coronation of the new Oni is a watershed in the history of the Yoruba land generally, and Ife in particular. Now, because they have a leader now, that will... Simply put, Gura is a beautiful countryside with awesome landscapes. Something differently will be done to the Nigerian textile industry, that our youth will be employed. Many people that attend the church here can tell you, service in Olia Rosa is in the... We are taking a canoe tour of the communities on the bank of River Niger in Ketsu. Machina in Yobe State is always a delightful story. This beautiful township is the sunshine of the expansive land area that covers northwestern Yobe. Machina is the extreme border of that state and has linkages with the cities in Jigawa and Niger Republic. It is always a serene agricultural environment and well laid out. Yet, despite the simplicity of its perspectives, the town conceals deep historical and cultural standards few areas in the region could compete with. This is a rich ambience from the Palace of Machina. It is an exemplification of the excellence of the musical art of the area. This music has as much history as the evolution of the Palace of Machina itself. Today, the Palace of Machina stands out as unique in the whole of northern Nigeria. It is the only palace in the whole region whose face is to the east. Oral tradition says this is a function of the historical evolution of the palace, a consequence of a major event in the palace that happened several centuries ago, but whose underlying impact still reflects from the palace.
So when they are constructing the palace, now Aliu Senior said, I want to be piercing my junior brother's palace. For that reason, now they now turn the gate to face east, which is the Gazargamu area. And wherever the king now, I use officially all my sitting places, all my traditional sitting places, I sit and face east to face my relations in Gazargamu.
The palace of Machina is not breaking any law by its perspective, but it is the only one with it. In modern times, this palace is leading a major cultural revolution, hitherto missed on many communities in the area. The palace finds the necessity to every year hold a major cultural festival that will not only bond the people of the emirate together and reinforce their cultural heritage, but also expand the emirate's horizon of contacts and relationships with the people outside them. The Emir of Machina, Dr. Bashir al-Bashir Bukar Machinama, is the driver of this revolution. Machinama finds the necessity to put his emirate in the nation's cultural map to bring recognition and increase prosperity for his people. Clearly, Dr. Bashir al-Bashir is part of the generation of Nigerian emirs who, by their deliberate actions, are bringing their people out of the shackles of poverty and despair to the mainstream of global awareness and economic well-being.
I used to remember the advice my late father do give me always. Before I became a district head, he used to tell me that, Alaji, don't say you will accumulate wealth, but you get people behind you. You are not to accumulate wealth. In Hausa, you used to say, kar ka nemi dukiya, ka nemi jama'a.
The Machina Annual Cultural Festival has never deviated from expanding the boundaries of contact and mutual understanding with the other emirates and countries. On the festival held this year, some 15 chiefs and emirs from across 5 West African countries of Ghana, Niger, Benin, and Togo were in attendance. Prominent Nigerian emirs, including Shehu of Borno, were around for almost 4 days of the festival. The president of the Niger Republic, in fact, sent a representative who was around throughout the duration of the festival. It was a rare get-together of music, drama, daba, and local sports. I arrived Machina in an especially explosive evening. Various cultural groups were on hand, including palace guards, to make an electrifying display before national and international guests that have arrived for the festival. One of the abiding virtues of Machina International Cultural Festival is the promotion of local sports, particularly traditional wrestling, kokawa, and langa. They are an indispensable component of the festival. It is interesting to hear the Emir of Machina says as a young man he was an ace langa competitor. Apparently, the sport brings him memories of his childhood. Traditional wrestling is a much more widespread sport among local communities in the north, especially with the end of harvest. The inclination to traditional wrestling by Machina Emirate during its annual cultural festival may be influenced by its neighborhood of communities in Niger Republic. Wrestling is a national sport in Niger, with the annual competitions rotated along states in the federation. Wrestling is the star sport in Machina Annual Festival too, and elimination matches take place to the point where they would emerge the wrestling king for the festival. Machina Emirate has 5 districts. Wrestling competitors are drawn from the districts and nowhere else. All competitions are in-house. It is the policy of the Emirate to elevate our people to positions beyond what they are currently. Some of their homegrown wrestlers have in fact actually represented Yobe and in fact the country in wrestling competitions. What is it in the life of dramas of wrestlers that they would rather see their hero die in combat than come out defeated? An epic battle unfolds here to qualify for the semi-final of the wrestling match of the International Cultural Festival of Machina. The combatants are familiar foes, but one would have his ambition for qualification ended now. In the end, Yawala Taylor from Palmeran won over his opponent. In between matches, some cultural displays were brought on stage. They more than add color to the fight. I crave to reinforce a story I have told of Machina before. Historically, the people of Machina are cave dwellers. At a point in their life, they came downhill to settle in their new settlement. I took a visit to their old settlement, which has proximity to their new settlement. Machina is a place of history, ancient history if you like. But then, one of the stories is that until 1500 years ago, this place is what defined Machina. It is their settlement. So the people of Machina had been cave dwellers who were also hunters. They come to their caves uphill and find the night. In the mornings, they go downhill and look for livelihood through hunting. But then crucially also, in Machina, there is a tale of leadership succession. Do you know that in this Machina, in this place, a king has given birth to 2 children. One of the children is Snake. And of course, there is a succession story now in Machina. one belonging to the human part or the human first of the children, and then the snake part. All this in this place. Now we shall relate the story to you, but the very part of the story is that where I am, where you see me here, this has been the place of the assembly of people of Machina at that period. They come here and do their assembly and retire to their caves. There is also a palace. It is not like any palace you have seen. It is an underground palace, which will also show you. So, welcome to Machina again, and welcome to Karmakawa. The old settlement still maintains its original place of assembly, water point, and its old palace. In one of the most interesting human stories around, the palace is still inhabited by royalty from the Machina royal house. You cannot come to this ancient settlement of Machina without coming to this place. They call it Marikura, or the big palace. This has been the palace of Machina, that 1,500 years ago. It is still there. But then, like the settlement itself, the palace is a cave. In fact, very thick and deep cave with a lot of channels underground. So if you want to access it, you have to go the channels. But you know the big story about this palace? The people of Machina believe that those who are ruling now are snakes. The history of Machina has an attachment with the snakes. The story has been that one of the emirs of Machina had a twin brother who was a snake. That snake retired to the rock and is here beginning his own generation and then dynasty of rulers. And they are under this palace. The human part of the twin is there in Machina. Their family are ruling. That is, it may be hard to believe, but that is the story current around this area. So I obviously would have loved to go under the cave and see what is actually happening. I'm not so much afraid of the snakes than I am of the filth that is there, because it is not being taken care of properly, and it can be tight, and maybe we are not very much aware of how it will look by accessing the channels. But the story is this palace still is there under a cave and then being visited by people. You may be amazed. It will be difficult to have a serious function in Machina without snakes. They don't appear open. But the Emir of Machina, Bashir Bukar, believed that when you see anyone around, something serious is about to happen in the palace.
So if we are doing anything, they normally come out. If we start seeing snakes in the palace, we know something may happen, either of sadness or happiness. So we pray it's for good. But even if the worst happens, that is what Allah has made it.
Machina was at the breaking point on the final day of the festival. Considering the effort of the emirate at conducting the festival every year, the state government built an expansive multi-purpose stadium for the town. It came on handy on this final day. The attendance that day was national. The small town that Machina is was creaking under the weight of arrivals to eat in a pleasant manner. The arrival include emirs, state governors, senate president, and members of the business community. Machina is making a display of the difference it can make to the world. The third place match of the wrestling competition was the first on the menu. It was a match between Malikisho Aibu from Ogo district and Lula Ubali from Machina. The final of the wrestling match was between Yawale Taylor from Palmaran and Uzair Malan Kasim from Dole. It was a match of mind games. In fact, one of the competitors took minutes to be at the field when the match was called and was sure to have been disqualified. He lost the match anyway, eventually. In the end, Yawale Taylor, who in fact had international experience, won the match and was decorated as Rekin Koko Machina for this year's international festival. He was overjoyed. After the wrestling competition, an elaborate daba was hosted by the Emir of Machina. Machina has made a name for itself globally as home of daba and skilled horsemen. His daba sequences stood out as very unique too. The first phase of this daba is a march past of all the contingent in the daba. The emir makes the rear and arrives to greet all distinguished guests before he disembarks and takes his position to receive homage from all his subjects in the daba setting. It was an extensive Daba setting in which, in the end, May Machinama sank all the invited guests and conferred Machina chieftaincy titles on 3 eminent personalities present. They included Senate President Mohamed Lawal, who is now the ambassador in Machina, Governor Baduro of Jigawa State, who is now the Dokaja Machina, and Governor Magudu of Kebbi State is now the Maliki Machina. It was an occasion in which Yobe State Governor Mema Labuni gave a speech announcing lifting ban on motorcycle operation in the state. The festival was wrapped up with an exciting horse racing competition in the evening.
Allah sa a gama lafiya an bar wani ba Allah sa a gama lafiya an bar wani ba to zai zo yi kai madalla to ga shi ne hankali madalla hankali lamba uku ya wuce da lamba uku la haula wala katalla ya alaihi wace kai ma za ka yi hawa doki kai su kuwa.
In the end, it was a thoroughly entertaining week in Machina, in which everyone left with a memory of what a beautiful place he had been to.
wannan labarin ma yana peji na 36.
Ita kuma babban labarin wannan jarida shine ainihin labarin da ke gaban jarida shine ta bayyana cewa
ọkwa ji ikenga eziokwu
nwanne m nwoke
Ikechukwu Ndukwe Igbo
iji wee mee ka ụbọchị na-aga n'anya ya ọjọọ ewutelu
nation fún ti òwúrọ̀ yìí ibẹ̀ náà ti sọ pé àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ ìpínlẹ̀ Benue pàṣẹ wípé
ní gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀ka ní ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní ẹ̀ka ètò ìlera ní ẹ̀ka ètò ààbò.
Nigerian handmade beaded necklaces have come in many different designs and styles. Some are plain strings of beads without any additional details, using brooches, pendant gemstones, or even crystals. These kinds of details make the African and Nigerian handmade beaded jewelry look more authentic and visually attractive. In the world of fashion, beads have evolved over the years, coming out in more fashionable ways. Women have been known to be associated with different kinds of accessories from ages, and today the use of beads have even become more trending, particularly those of handmade bead necklaces. Now get thrilled with some of the latest trends associated with beads. Nigerian hand